headlines for this hour on VTV News. The 8th plenum of the 13-party Central Committee opens. Vietnamese exporters increase production. And oil prices to stay high in fourth quarter.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Hello, it's 8 a.m. local time in Hanoi, and you're watching VTV News. The 8th plenum of the 13-party Central Committee opened in Hanoi on October 2nd, chaired by General Secretary Nguyen Phuc. More in the following story.
During the plenum, the committee will discuss the national socio-economic situation and state budget for 2023, as well as plans for 2024. They will also review the state budget and financial plan for the three-year period of 2024 to 2026 and establish a roadmap for implementing the new salary regime. The committee will assess the 10-year implementation of the resolution from the 5th plenum of the 11th Party Central Committee, which focused on various social policy issues during the 2012 to 2020 period. They will also evaluate the progress made in promoting the strength of the Great National Unity Bloc over a 20-year period, as outlined in the resolution from the 7th plenum of the 9th Party Central Committee. Furthermore, they will review the 15-year implementation of the resolution from the 7th plenum of the 10th Party Central Committee, which emphasized the importance of building a contingent of intellectuals during the period of national industrialization and modernization. In addition, the committee will assess the 10-year implementation of the resolution on national protection strategy in the new situation, which was adopted by the 8th plenum of the 11th Party Central Committee. Lastly, they will discuss personnel planning for the Party Central Committee in the 14th tenure, along with other important issues.
Global fluctuations and negative external factors continue to have negative impacts on the implementation of Vietnam's socio-economic development tasks. The committee should focus on discussing and analyzing the achievements and limitations of 2023 in depth. We need to learn from our experiences and forecast the upcoming challenges with an objective and comprehensive spirit.
General Secretary Nguyen emphasized the significance of personnel planning, stating that it serves as the foundation for all other personnel-related tasks in the upcoming term. He urged the Party Central Committee to prioritize a strong sense of responsibility when deliberating and making decisions on significant, intricate, and sensitive issues that are crucial to accomplishing the political objectives of the 13th Central Committee from now until the conclusion of its term.
Prime Minister Phie on Monday night received the German minister's president of the state Lower Saxony, Mr. Stefan Well, who is leading a delegation of 45 large German businesses coming to Vietnam to explore bilateral cooperation opportunities. At the event, Prime Minister Phie proposed that the state of the Lower Saxony encourage and call for German businesses to invest in Vietnam, especially in new fields such as digital transformation, green transformation, high technology, and climate change response. He suggested that the German officials support the approval of the Vietnam-EU Investment Protection Agreement by the German National Assembly and the removal of yellow card on Vietnamese seafood by the European Commission. The minister-president of the German states of Lower Saxony affirmed that he would make every effort to promote the Vietnam-Germany strategic partnership more effectively and practically. According to the General Statistics Office, the total state budget revenue in the past 9 months is estimated to be over $49.31 billion. This amount is equal to 75.5% of the yearly estimate and represents an 8.3% decrease compared to the same period last year. Domestic revenue reached over $41 billion, which is equal to 76% of the year estimate. Additionally, revenue from crude oil reached $1.89 billion and import and export activities nearly reached $6.7 billion. On the other hand, the total state budget expenditure in the past 9 months is estimated to be nearly $50.96 billion. This figure is equal to nearly 60% of the yearly estimate, showing an increase of more than 14% over the same period last year. This increase ensures the fulfillment of various needs such as socio-economic development, national defense, security, state management, payment of due debts, and timely regulatory payments. There have been many positive signs recorded in export activities. Exports have earned over $31.4 billion in September, an increase of 4.6% over the same period last year. Positive signs also reflected in Vietnam Purchasing Managers Index (PMI), which for the first time this year exceeded the thresholds of 50 points. Production and business conditions have improved and prices are increasing. Exporters have received new orders. More to follow.
This medium voltage cabinet is used to operate electrical systems in industrial factories, data centers, and for renewable energy purposes. Currently, the assembly line of this factory operates at almost 100% of its capacity to meet orders. The sales have so far increased by 15%.
A good ecosystem what we have here, strong supply chain and then the supply management, and then our own local footprint which is quite mature.
There are 4 factors that influence Purchasing Managers Index, which are new orders, output, delivery time, and inventory. Vietnam's PMI index exceeded 50 points in September, showing that business conditions have improved over the months. Thanks to that, export turnover in the third quarter is estimated at $94.6 billion. This is an increase of 10.3% compared to the figure in the second quarter. Most of Vietnam's key products have regained growth momentum.
Vietnamese supply chain inventories in the United States have decreased, signaling the need to ramp up imports. Since the end of the second quarter of 2023, Vietnam's key products have boosted exports to the States.
Well, for PMI really reflects the manufacturing's prospects for future production. I think we are seeing some positive, especially for the latest PMI readings. It's the very first time.
However, experts also issued warnings of global challenges that might affect Vietnam's exports in the near future. According to global economic reports, inflation in many countries is showing signs of cooling, and an increase in spending during the year-end period would reduce inventories. There are problems but also opportunities. Vietnamese businesses need to take advantage and prepare production capacity and labor.
Fruit and vegetable exports in the first 9 months of this year are estimated to have reached $4.13 billion, which is nearly 70% increase compared to the same period last year and exceeds the total growth of 24% for the previous year. China is the largest import market for Vietnamese fruit and vegetables, accounting for 64% of the market share, followed by the United States, South Korea, and Japan. Durian, banana, and dragon fruit have made significant contribution to this growth. Durian is the most exported product among fruit and vegetable, making it part of the group of $1 billion export turnovers. The Vietnam Fruit and Vegetable Association predicts that fruit and vegetable export will reach about $5 billion by 2023, achieving the target 2 years earlier than the originally planned year of 2025. Digital transformation is considered the best way for the Vietnamese agriculture sector to overcome difficulties to develop during this time of uncertainty, as well as aim to build a digital agriculture ecosystem. Toward this goal, many agriculture businesses have proactively cooperated with tech firms to build digital platforms. All efforts aim to improve productivity, manage resources, and establish production lines in the direction of digital transformation.
This automated farms technologies allow farmers to measure the amount of feed and environmental indicators for each chicken cage. All indicators are virtual so that the farmers can ensure productivity. The entire system is managed remotely. These technologies have been developed by FPD Corporation.
The factory applies high-tech, so management measures have to change to match this. Technologies allow us to control the amount of import and export, as well as feed. They are costly, I have to say, but the results are great.
According to the Ho Chi Minh City Food Association, agricultural businesses have been aware of the role of digital transformation. However, they are also facing many challenges, especially in terms of funding and technological resources. Therefore, cooperation between agricultural enterprises and domestic technology companies is vital.
I suggest a national center for agricultural data. The authorities can direct resources based on reality and figures. Businesses can also access these data.
Digital transformation is vital for agricultural companies to gain muscle. Vietnam needs to have the most efficient agricultural production. The value that digital transformation can add up is many times greater than traditional investment.
To effectively promote digital transformation, the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development has also issued a plan for 2023. This has created a solid foundation for the sector to create breakthroughs in the coming time.
Vietnam has received nearly 9 million international tourist arrivals over the first 9 months of this year, such higher than expected. One of the contributing factors is the flexibility and adaptability of the country's tourism sector post-pandemic, as the Vietnamese government implements favorable policies to boost the recovery of the smokeless industry.
South Korean tourists have accounted for nearly half of total number of international visitors to Da Nang City. One of the most popular destinations in Asia, Vietnam has recorded about 2.57 million visitors so far.
Vietnam should open new travel routes to attract South Korean tourists. Diverse tourism products will keep tourists stay longer.
South Korea is now the biggest source of tourists for Vietnam's tourism, followed by China. The number of Chinese visitors to Vietnam has reached 1 million. Since Vietnam eased its visa requirements for foreign visitors in August, the country has attracted a large number of foreigners. The number of international tourists seeking long vacations in Vietnam has increased 33%, most of them from the United States and European countries. Vietnam has recorded nearly 9 million international tourist arrivals over the past 9 months, exceeding the tourism sector's target, with total revenue reaching more than $22 billion.
Since Vietnam reopened for international tourism, the sector is facing more pressure. The tourism industry and related departments should implement various measures to improve the quality of tourism services in terms of tourism products, human resources, and tourism promotion events.
The government's new visa policy will be effective next year. To boost its growth, the tourism sector need to handle staff shortages as soon as possible. Of all tourism business operating in Vietnam, more than half of them have difficulties recruiting qualified employees, while more than 22% are lacking staff.
The tourism sector is facing a shortage of human resources, with a decreasing number of training courses.
Tourism businesses need to diversify their products and improve their services. In addition, they should introduce more promotional events to attract international tourists.
According to estimates, Vietnam is expected to receive about 1.2 million international tourist arrivals during the last 3 months of this year. Businesses need to improve their tourism services with diverse products to keep tourists engaged and encourage them to stay longer and spend more money.
Coming up next on VTV News, Vietnam ensures equal access to education for ethnic children. And Hạ Long Bay featured in a Hollywood movie. From the beginning of the year until now, Vietnam has recorded 20 people infected with diphtheria in Nguyen, Điện Biên, and Hà Giang provinces. Among the patients, 3 have succumbed to the illness and passed away. Epidemiological investigations show that the patients are mostly aged from 9 months to 40 years old and have not been vaccinated against diphtheria or have not been given the second shot. To date, Hà Giang and Điện Biên have administered diphtheria vaccination for people from 7 to 20 years old in those communes where infected cases were found. The Ministry of Health said that from September 16 until now, Hà Giang has not recorded any new infected cases. Also, Điện Biên and Thái Nguyên provinces have announced the end of the diphtheria epidemic. During the past 2 days, high tides have caused heavy flooding in inner city areas of many southern provinces and cities. In Cần Thơ City, rising tidal water flooded roads, disrupted people's lives, and caused damage to agriculture. In Ho Chi Minh City, after a heavy rain on Sunday afternoon, Highway 50 passing through Bình Hưng Commune, Bình Chánh District, were inundated in half a meter of water. Many vegetable growing areas in the suburb of Ho Chi Minh City were damaged due to the flood waters. It is forecast that by the end of Monday, high tides in the southern provinces would end. Promoting education and creating a favorable learning environments have become a goal of the Vietnamese government, as limited access to education leads children in rural and remote areas to live under poor conditions. Ensuring quality education for them has been prioritized. A report in Sapa Town, Lao Cai Province.
All students have the right to go to school. To raise student awareness about their rights, teachers at Ham Rong Primary School have reinvented their teaching methods.
We've utilized role-play games to foster student learning and boost their creativity. This way, they'll learn better and make progress in school.
Teachers seek ways to overcome language barriers in the classroom. As most of the students here are from Hmong ethnic group, they're teaching in both Vietnamese and Hmong languages. This way, the teachers can understand their students better.
We know our students better, and they know us, too. As such, students became more confident, engaged in class, and are willing to learn new things.
Hmong children account for about 70% of total children in the area. We've encouraged children to go to school, especially disadvantaged children, girls, and ethnic children. We want to provide equal access to education for all children.
According to the survey by the Committee for Ethnic Minority Affairs and the General Statistics Office, Vietnam completed the universalization of preschool education for 5-year-old children in 2017. The quality of primary and secondary education has improved over time.
Vietnam has made significant progress in terms of improving access of ethnic minority children, and also to have confidence and to be able to achieve their aspirations in their lives.
The country's education sector and related departments in localities have made joint efforts to ensure all children get equal opportunities to access to education, with priority given to children in rural and remote areas.
Ethnic cultures are considered as the foundation for Vietnamese people on the way towards development. Preserving and promoting cultural values of ethnic groups has always been a priority and long-term task of the party and the state. Cultural identities of ethnic groups are not only preserved but also promoted and transformed into resources for socioeconomic developments, thus helping locals to escape poverty and stabilize their lives. This is a story about how cultural preservation improved the lives of highland ethnic people in Quảng Nam province.
The Katu people used to live sparsely in remote mountainous areas. They only gathered in groups at the communal houses during holidays. Having known this custom, the authorities of Tây Giang district built the communal houses as the administrative center of each commune.
We asked for opinions of village elders and reputable individuals. Their opinions are vital for US in planning.
Living in new villages, the Katu people no longer have to cross the mountains and forest. They can still preserve the traditional culture. Women have a gathering place to weave brocade. Men have a place to celebrate. Lang Commune has become a community tourism attraction of Guangnan province.
Now every time there is a festival or tourists come, we often wear beautiful costumes to show them our traditions. This is a piece of clothing made from leaves.
In my opinion, if we can preserve the identity of the K2 people and the mountains and forests, then I believe that the life will be very beneficial from these policies. Tourism and culture will nourish us, and the mountains and forests will nourish us.
In recent years, the highland districts of Guangnan province have policies to preserve community cultural values. This is considered the foundation and premise for developing tourism associated with the unique cultural values of the community.
Every year, we guide localities in organizing cultural, artistic, physical training and sports activities. Every 4 years, we organize grand cultural and sports festivals. This year, there will be many tourism activities.
The resolution of the 13th Party Congress has determined the implementation of policies for cultural development must be hand in hand with economic development. Festivals come again. The Katu people perform their traditional dances with a belief in a prosperous life.
Hạ Long Bay has once again become the setting in a Hollywood movie named The Creator, directed by Gareth Edwards after Kong Skull Island. The Creator stars John David Washington, Gemma Chan, Ken Watanabe, Sergio Simpson, Alison Janney, and Vietnamese actress Ngô Thanh Vân. The film is set in the dystopian world in which the human race is at war against artificial intelligence. Before The Creator, several Hollywood movies also chose Vietnam as the film setting, such as Kong Skull Island, Almond, Indochina, The Quiet Americans, and Pans and the Neverland. The Creator is scheduled to premiere at Fantastic Fest on September 26th and be released in cinemas on September 29th. Quảng Bình province has recently announced the stunning discovery of new caves in its local ecosystem this year. These exciting discoveries add to the province's collections of remarkable cave systems, which already includes the immensely popular Sơn Đòn, Phong Nha Kẻ Bàng, and Tú Lan. These newly discovered caves also leave lasting impressions with their raw beauty.
Navigating these natural caves without native guides can be challenging. One such cave called Hung Chu Wan is situated in the primeval forest west of Chun Sơn mountain range. This cave stretches over 500 meters and possesses unique ecosystems.
Mother Nature has done a wonderful job shaping the interior of this cave. You can find almost every imaginable shape of animal here.
The British Royal Cave Association has recently discovered 22 new caves in Quảng Bình province. Meanwhile, a new cave has been discovered in Quảng Ninh district. It contains water and spans 1.5 kilometers with a highest point of 30 meters. The cave has been named Sơn Nữ, which translates to Mountain Lady, due to its mesmerizing beauty.
Local authorities have requested urgent protection and management of the cave areas to preserve their raw beauty. We have also called for aspiring businesses to promote tourism and exploration in the area.
With over 400 caves discovered, Quảng Bình is known as the Kingdom of Caves. It is important to preserve and promote the beauty of newly discovered caves in Quảng Bình.
Coming up next in our world news, oil prices to stay high in fourth quarter. And the Nobel in medicine goes to 2 scientists. Oil prices settled nearly 1% higher on Tuesday, rebounding from a slump to a 2-week low in earlier trading. Brent crude futures settles at $92.38 US per barrel. Meanwhile, U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude futures settle at $91.02 US per barrel. Both Brent and WTI Brent March had a strong performance in the third quarter, rallying nearly 30%. The surge in prices were driven by expectations of a significant crude supply deficit in the fourth quarter due to extended supply cuts by major oil-producing nations. The organizations of the petroleum exporting countries and its allies, collectively known as OPEC+, are not expected to make any adjustments to their current oil output policies during an upcoming meetings on October 4th. Brent is forecast to reach nearly $90 US per barrel in the fourth quarter and to decrease slightly in 2024. Flexible export duties on a wide range of goods linked to the ruble exchange rate comes into effect from October 1st. The measure is temporary and is aimed at protecting the domestic market, according to the Russian government. The duty will be from 4% to 7%, depending on the exchange rate of the national currency. At 80 rubles per dollar and below, it will be zero. For fertilizers, the duty will be up to 10%, depending on the ruble exchange rate. Flexible export duties will remain in effect until the end of 2024. Export duty rates are applied to goods exported from the Russian Federation outside the custom territory of the Eurasian Economic Union, subject to certain exceptions. Russia's budget may get an additional 600 billion rubles per year from a planned extra tax on export of some metals, fertilizers, and some other commodities. Two scientists have won the Nobel Prize in Medicine for discoveries that enable the creation of mRNA vaccines against COVID-19, and that could be used to develop other shots in the future. Hungarian-American Katalin Karikó and American Drew Weissman were cited for contributing to the unprecedented rate of vaccine development during one of the greatest threats to human health, according to the panels that awarded the prize in Stockholm on Monday. The two scientists developed the technology which led to Moderna and Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines. The mRNA technology also holds great promise to prevent and treat a wide range of diseases such as HIV, influenza, or cancer. The Nobel Prize announcement will continue throughout this week and into next with awards in physics, chemistry, literature, and economics set to be announced in the coming days. And now let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for this hour at VTV News. To rewatch your program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application, VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.